So let me stray, please guide my way onto the path of my deen. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, Allah, I'm calling your name. Oh Allah.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Welcome to another edition of Let's Talk. You guys at home, don't forget to support us on Facebook, YouTube, and all of our social media outlets, inshallah. You guys, please support Huda TV. We are the premier and the pioneer, inshallah, Islamic channel broadcasting in the English language. So we certainly hope to continue to be a light in every home. In this episode, inshallah, we will be speaking about a broad topic, which is very important for youth, particularly, as well as adults, but especially the youth, and that is the meaning of life. What are we here for? I have some interesting brothers with me from the UK, from Nigeria, and also from Al-Azhar University, a life coach, an Azhar scholar in his own right, and we're looking forward to hearing his professional thoughts about this topic as well. But let's just get right in the program. If we can start with, on my right, inshallah, if you can just give us your full name and where you're from. And go ahead, brother.
My name is Walid Anan. I'm from the UK, from North London, and I'm currently in Egypt trying to see what I can do to stay and hopefully study Arabic and improve my deen and see where I can progress in life, inshallah.
Okay, North London, mashallah, great, excellent. Go ahead, brother.
I'm Nazif Abu Bakr from Nigeria.
From North Nigeria?
Yeah, from the north, yeah.
Just like North London, North Nigeria?
Specifically, definitely. Yes.
North side.
And what do you do?
Studying at Al-Azhar.
Mashallah, and you're a student at Al-Azhar?
Yeah, at Al-Azhar
Great.
University. But I haven't yet studied.
Inshallah.
I'm going to start this year.
Great, inshallah.
Yeah.
May Allah bless you. Thank you, brother. Go ahead, brother.
Assalamu
Alaikum salam, brother.
My name's Idris Tawfiq. I'm from South London.
Oh, South London, okay. So you're from the north, guys, it's okay? North and the south? But we have a linguistic difference here, huh?
No. Same.
Okay, inshallah. Okay, good. Okay, great. Thank you, brother. And what are you doing here in Cairo?
I'm just here studying.
Okay, great, wonderful. Go ahead, brother.
Is Mukhtar
From
and
West
from
London?
Egypt. From Azhar University. I'm an Azhar scholar and I'm life coach. I'm interested in that topic exactly because it's nice to have us speaking about the broad meaning that everyone in his life start questioning himself at certain point or another about the meaning of life, why we are here, and what the purpose of this.
Okay, Barakallahu Feek, I'm glad to have you guys with me. So if we, and Brother Mukhtar, thank you for being here, because if I have a problem understanding the British brothers, we can translate, inshallah. Okay?
Inshallah.
I'm just joking. I'm just joking, you
can
guys.
do that.
Brother, I want to start on my right, inshallah. The meaning of life, what does it mean for you? How has it changed from where you are now in your life, okay, and where you were perhaps 10 years ago? What should be what is the meaning of life for a Muslim? What should it be? Go ahead, brother.
Basically, from my understanding, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says in the Quran, I have created the jinn wa insan, the humans, to worship Allah alone, and inshallah to please Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala as much as we can. And this life is temporarily. The purpose of life is to get into the next life, which is forever. So inshallah, from my understanding, this life is temporarily, is going to be obstacles, tests, and so on and so on. And inshallah, you know, like Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, well, I won't quote it because it doesn't really apply now, but we should strive as much as we can for the next akhirah. Well, I will quote actually, it says, He says, you, us, we prefer this dunya, but the akhirah is way more better.
Okay.
So we will get tested and, you know, obstacles in this life, but Allah says akhirah is much, much better for you.
Okay, thank you, brother. So basically, we're here to serve Allah, to please Allah, to reach the afterlife.
No. And
whatever we can do along the way, as long as it's permissible, that goes along with it, inshallah.
No.
Brother, what does life mean to you, and how has that changed over time?
Okay. This is the same questions, but it has different answers, yeah, depending on people. Some people might say that the purpose of life is to acquire, millions of dollars in this world, but Muslim has a clear answer to these questions, because the purpose of life to him is to help, or is to be his target, to be the next life. Because many people who acquire the world, we see they commit suicide day by day. We hear this. So if the purpose of life is to acquire the wealth in this world, then after acquiring this world, life becomes meaningless. So, but as my brother said, the meaning of this life, as Allah stated clearly in the Quran, is وَمَا خَلَقَتُ الْجِنَّ وَالْإِنسَ إِلَّا لِيَعْبُدُونَ. I didn't create the jinn and mankind except to worship me. That's the real purpose of life, to know your Lord and to worship Him according to what He wants, not according to what you want.
Barakallahu Fik. Thank you, brother.
Yeah.
Brother, the meaning of life now, I want to ask you two questions. What does the meaning of life mean to you now as a Muslim? And what did it mean to you as a non-Muslim kid growing up in South London? Or North London? South, I get confused. So I want to see the contrast. How did the meaning of life change over the development of your life and before and after Islam?
I think before Islam, I think the majority of people, myself included, there wasn't really a purpose. I mean, for some people, it was just to make some money. For some people, it was to get some material things, a nice car, a nice woman, or a nice man, if you're a woman, obviously.
Or over there, it could be the
over there, it could be a lot of it.
Okay, go ahead, brother.
So I think for me, in a nutshell, for everyone else, I guess, life was just enjoying life, and that was it. You know, do as least work as possible, but enjoy yourself as much as possible. As a Muslim now, alhamdulillah, I have a purpose in life. I mean, even a person living that, deep down, they know that they can't live like that anymore. Like, for example, someone that gets hooked on drugs or whatever, they have one, then it's two, then it's three, then it's four, until it's just...
You can't do it anymore.
You can't do it anymore.
You can't go anymore.
So there just comes a point where you want to find something more. So that's why a lot of people in places like UK, France, US, they're looking for religion. They might not necessarily become Muslim, but they might, like you said, there's a lady that didn't know whether she's a Christian or Buddhist or whatever.
Yeah,
so
they're looking for this.
They're looking for something, you know. So I think for me personally, Islam gave me that by telling me what my purpose in life is, and it comes from your Creator. And you know, as the brothers have mentioned, the ayat وَمَا خَلَقْتُ الْجِنَّ وَالْإِنسَ إِلَّا لِيَعْبُدُونَ. I have not created the jinn or mankind except that they should worship me.
Yes,
you know, and you know, other ayat, for example, قُلْ إِنَّ صَلَاتِي وَنُسُكِي وَمَحْيَاي وَمَمَاتِي لِلَّهِ رَبِّ الْعَالَمِينَ. Say, my life, my death, my prayer, my sacrifice, it's all for Allah. You know, and we get this from Islam. You know, we live for Allah to worship Him. And sometimes when people hear that, you know, Islam is worship, you know, it's not something which is boring or dead. You know, as a matter of fact, I enjoy my life more now rather than how I was living before. You know, if all of the vices and things that people do, I enjoy my life now much more than I was enjoying before.
Hey, thank you, brother. Well put. I feel exactly how you do. Thank you. SubhanAllah. Go ahead, brother.
That's an interesting point, an interesting question. And everybody has his own view, has his own life story, has his own experience to tell. As we see from you, when you go from one one person to another, the question changes. But when you ask Muslims, all the answer goes around having a vision, serving Allah for the afterlife, that you live your life fully, and you will have another full life. You enjoy both lives in the servant of Allah. But when you go to science and how they try to answer that question, you find the Maslow hierarchy of needs, of human needs, and now it's an extended. So that pyramid was started as 5 levels of human needs. The thing that people get motivated to do, everything in their life is trying to work toward that pyramid. And it started as, now it's in 8 levels. The first levels, the 4 levels, what we call the deficiency levels, the basic levels, the core levels, if they could, this is the picture.
Yeah, go ahead.
So the deficiency levels, if you are deficient at any of them, at any one of them, you'll be motivated to acquire them. You feel uncomfortable till you get them. The above 4 one, the remaining 4, the higher order needs or the being needs, it's about being the most what you can. And think of it that the basic at the bottom, and as you go higher, the top is more better. Look at people around you and analyze their action toward that. And let's start from the bottom, the physiological needs. And we take it for granted. It's the hunger, the thirst, the
Yes.
need for love.
This is the most basic need.
This is the most basic needs, and we take it for granted. But think of a country where people have drought, where the first thing they do each day is to look for water.
Right.
The second level is the need for security, the need for peace, the need for, you need everything in your life to feel secure, safe at your home, safe at your job, safe at your payment at the end of the month. You feel secure and safe. And the third level is love and belonging. You want to be loved. You want to be surrounded by people who make you feel included, the social relationship. No one loves to be isolated, and that is a problem, because when you feel isolated, you tend to be aggressive toward the community, and you tend to be aggressive toward your life. And as you go higher, the fourth level is the self-esteem, how you see yourself, and how you see your body, how you see your configuration, how you see your work, how you see what you have achieved in your life till now. The feeling good about yourself is the most important one in these fours, because in many of the developing countries, the first two are secured. So you are actually working toward the third one. And we see this in our work. When people come, I'm a physician, so when people come for psychological problems because they don't love themselves, they have a problem, and when they come to the plastic surgeon clinic, they want to change something because they don't have that self-esteem about the good positions, the good lives, the good configuration of them. And the best thing is to always remember that people who love you don't judge you, and people who don't love you and people who don't love you don't matter, because media is playing a huge role in defining beauty for people, in defining the best thing that you can. So they are messing with the self-esteem inside you. They could make you feel good, they could make you feel bad, they could validate you or not, and that is the fourth level that you have. And we call this four is the cope level. Once you acquire them, you feel like you are alive. You don't feel stressed, you don't feel deficient of anything. You could work toward your life. And the Quran and the Islam collect them all in two verses. When Allah say, بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم فليعبدوا رب هذا البيت الذي أطعمهم من جوع وآمنهم من خوف. So let them worship the Lord, and the self-esteem and having them related and connected to something higher. And then who has fed them, who has given them the physiological need, and then آمنهم من خوف, who has provided for them the safe and the security. And that, when the Quran is collecting all of this in just two verses, then you go for the upper higher levels, the happiness levels. The first one of them is the need to understand, the need to acquire knowledge, the curiosity. That's what makes the children different from us. They ask a lot. If audience now are watching us, that's because they want to know more. They are now fulfilling that part. They want to acquire knowledge. They want to know more. You want to know more. That is the first of the upper four levels. And that comes, I hate too much when we kill that curiosity in our children, when we kill that creativity. I always tell people to stay different, stay brilliant, stay innovative, stay curious. That will make you
unique
from one another, not a copy. And then you go up in the level when you find the aesthetics needs, the need for symmetry, the need for perfection. People now want beauty in not only in themselves, but in the surrounding. They want to live in something beautiful. They want to create something beautiful and be imaginative. They want to acquire everything that their brain can do. And that gives us this next level, which is self-actualization. Being the best you can, being the absolute and performing with your peak, living with no compromises, having no limits for yourself. And the last level is transcendence, looking beyond yourself, connecting with the universe, having people doing volunteering work with no return, not thinking of a return. They are not doing it because they want to be in their resume or something. They are now doing
For the sake
it
of Allah.
for the sake of Allah, for the sake of fulfilling that need in them. And of course, that is a spiritual need, when you feel you are connected with everything around you. So think of that pyramid, and as you go up, you can look around you, and as you go up, it tends to go down. That's why it's a pyramid. All people are looking for the physiological need, but as you go up, you find the elite people, the successful people at the top, achieving the optimal and performing at their peak. So that, if you think of that pyramid at all, you will try to find a meaning and relating it to Islam.
Barakallahu feek, brother. I certainly appreciate it. I want to go back to this Maslow hierarchy, inshallah, throughout the episode. We're going to take a short break, but before we do that, I want to throw the question out there to keep the viewers interested, inshallah. I want to ask you guys the meaning of life. What does it mean to the youth over there in the UK? Because I know in the States, you feel like the youth are confused, okay? But they end up doing a lot of bad stuff, then they end up turning towards Islam. Whereas in the UK, I see the youth are already Muslim, and they're confused about the meaning of life, and they're going the opposite direction, so it's like a reverse commute. So we'll talk about it after the break, inshallah. You guys stay tuned for more Let's Talk. We're discussing the meaning of life. So we will be right back, inshallah.
How perfect my Allah is, and I praise Him. Subhanallahi wa bihamdihi, subhanallahi al-azim. How perfect you are, Allah, subhanahu wa ta'ala.
Reading the Quran is a blessing. Understanding its translation is beautiful. But diving in depth and extracting pearls from it is simply amazing. Do they not ponder upon the Quran? Every week, inshallah, we will dig deep and reflect on the verses of the Quran one by one.
Quran in Depth with Sheikh Ibrahim Zaidan, only on Huda TV.
Subhanahu wa ta'ala.
Welcome back to Let's Talk. You guys don't forget to support us there on the social media, Facebook, YouTube, whatever else there is. Check it out. You guys, we really need that because it's an important gauge to see where you guys are, what you guys would like to see. We have a Let's Talk Facebook page as well. Get on there, you guys, and tell me what kind of programs you'd like to see, what kind of guests you would like to see, what kind of topics you would like to be discussed, inshallah, and we will do that for you, inshallah. We're talking about the meaning of life, and we have some brothers here from the UK, Nigeria, and Egypt. Brother, starting from my right, like I said before the break, I feel like the youth in America are confused, and many of them naturally are confused, okay? They're part of life. Then they turn to Islam, subhanAllah, and they were happy as Muslims, and this clarified life for them. They found the meaning of life. Where in the UK, I see many of these UK guys, a lot of them, subhanAllah, they're Muslim, but they're looking for the meaning of life, and they're going the wrong direction. So can you talk about that a little bit?
Basically, from what I see being in the UK and stuff, is the peer pressure of the society. Everyone wants to fit in. And we have this thing of making it meaning, like in America, for instance, you have the American dream, for instance. But in the UK, we don't have the American dream, but we have a thing like being successful, being successful in society. And that necessarily doesn't mean that you go to university and you get a good qualification. It means that you get a good car, big house, you either nice clothes, you either made it in the music industry, or you selling drugs, or
basketball player,
or not necessarily basketball, but maybe football, or you know what, you just want to fit into the society. So when the society is giving you the pressure of this is what we keep on presenting to you, like having constantly bombarding the youth with these ideas, having a nice car, and because as you know, UK is quite advanced in things, and they might have a new car every year or every month. There's something new, or the latest Xbox or PlayStation 4. Is that like you constantly get sucked up in the dunya? So unfortunately, when the youths get engaged in the society, they slowly get sucked into it, and then that's how they start coming off the deen, and they want to start you know, making it and stuff. And for instance, the example of the reason why a lot of non-Muslims might convert or revert to Islam is maybe a lot of them, you might hear a lot of people reverting in prison, is because as soon as they go to prison, they are sealed away from the dunya. They don't know what's the latest mobile phone. They don't know what's new in cinema. They don't know what's the latest car. They don't know what Nike trainers are out. They don't know this stuff. As soon as they're in prison, they got nothing else but to, you know, contemplate and think and have the time for themselves and maybe start reading, seeking the truth. And then by the time you know, they've accepted Islam because the society hasn't, you know, distracted them.
Yeah, Barakallahu. Sometimes you know, you can't blame them because they're under a bombardment from the media, from social media to be a certain way, behave a certain way. Even here in Egypt, I saw a commercial. It said, "Drink non-alcoholic beer so you can be a man." I said to myself, "SubhanAllah, I'm already a man." Anyway, so it's a cultural invasion. So thank you, Barakallahu, brother. You guys, we're going to check out a report concerning this topic. So stay tuned. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
I'm calling your name.
What are we doing here? And where are we gonna go? It's like we just woke up one morning and then it's welcome to the show. Don't ask any questions, just go with the flow. Make as much money as you can and try your best not to get broke. Copy everything you see on the TV, from the hairstyles to the clothes, and don't think too often, just do exactly as you're told. And if you ever get confused, then just turn towards the alcohol. You'll still hear your thoughts, then just turn up the radio as you learn to live a lifestyle of drugs, sex, and rock and roll. But in all honesty, I just need to know, is there more to the cycle than growing and getting old? Living and dying just to leave behind a happy home and a whole lot of property that somebody else is going to own. I just really need to know before the casket's closed, 'cause I'm not willing to gamble with my soul, nor am I ready to take any chances. These are just simple life questions and I'm just searching for some answers. Like, what are we doing here? And what is our purpose? How did we get here, and who made us so perfect? And what happens once we go, or is this world all really worth it? Questions we don't answer because apparently we don't really have to. There's no purpose to this life and our existence is merely natural. Then in that case, please let me ask you, did you create yourself, or was it somebody else who had fashioned you? 'Cause you're a being that's impeccable, faultless and unparalleled. You're a product of supreme intelligence and I'm merely being rational. For there isn't a camera on this earth that can come close to the human eye, nor a computer that can compete alongside the human mind. And if the whole world was to come together, we wouldn't be able to create a single fly. So many signs, yet we still deny. As science tries to justify that all this could come from none, when it's a simple sum. 0 plus 0 plus 0 cannot possibly ever give you 1. So from where did all this order come? For everything has its origins, a maker, a creator of its own. I mean, the only reason you're watching this video is because somebody had to press upload. So we can believe in the Big Bang, but I'd rather believe in He who caused it to explode. Allah, the creator of everything along with every single soul. The ever-living, the master, the only one who is in control. Unlike his creation, beyond our imagination. And no, he's not a man, nor does he have any partners in association. He's on his own. And no, he did not ever leave us alone.
Allah, subhanahu wa ta'ala.
Barakallahu, I hope you guys enjoyed that video. Brother, go ahead. What do you think about that? Have you seen it before? Is it your first time?
No, it's the first time seeing it.
What do you think? What do you guys think?
I think, mashallah, it talks quite a lot of tawheed, and people that enjoy poetry, mashallah, it's a very nice poem to listen to and see what, you know, it tells you the basics of, you know, the deen, and, you know, that we don't come from, you know, You know, some people might think we came from monkeys and stuff, but
right, like they said, like
but
they
we
teach us,
came
right.
from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala,
Great.
and to Him we will return.
Inshallah.
And you know, we shouldn't associate partners with Him.
Yeah, I thought it was nice, especially for the youth
Yeah.
as well. Your thoughts, brother?
Yeah, it was very nice, mashallah. I think the visual
Yeah.
association
It's
with
good.
all of the topics was very interesting, and I think it's a good point. We need videos like this because unfortunately the youth, they feel that Islam kind of leaves, it's been left behind, it's boring.
Yeah, right.
That's why I wanted to say at the beginning of the show that when we say worship, it's not something boring.
Right.
That's why in a lot of the masajid now you have like football teams or football events for people that like football and different kind of events to try to get the youth in, because interact, and
Yeah.
because if we don't cultivate the children, then the street's going to cultivate them.
Yeah, thank you, brother. Excellent point. And if we could go back to the to Maslow theory real quick here, because he says at the top of this pyramid, he says, once you've acquired all the things you need for existence, like you have your food, you have your security, you have your safety, then you can focus on the spiritual matters, according to his chart, right?
Right.
But the kids in the States, in the UK, they have all these things. They're not worried. They have the police. They're safe. They have food. They have this and that. But they're like lost. They have all these things and it's taken for granted, and then they're lost. And then it takes away for them. It takes a while for them to find their way. So, brother, speak about that.
The hierarchy needs, when you go to the top, there is no market for it. It's only the elite people that are there. And the lower needs has a market. So if you want something, if you want to sell something, you will be focused on the lower ones. And that's what is the old people are now looking for. But that is not what the Muslims think. If you go back to the first of the Abrahamic religion, when Ibrahim, Allah says in the Quran, وَإِذِ ابْتَلَى إِبْرَاهِيمَ رَبُّهُ بِكَلِمَاتٍ فَأَتَمَّهُنَّ قَالَ إِنِّي جَاعِلُكَ لِلنَّاسِ إِمَامًا قَالَ وَمِنْ ذُرِّيَّتِي قَالَ لَا يَنَالُ عَهْدِ الظَّالِمِينَ. When Allah tried Ibrahim and gave him commands and he fulfilled it, surely I am making you a leader for humanity. What was the first thing a leader thought of? He said, what of my offspring? قَالَ وَمِنْ ذُرِّيَّتِي. And Allah say, my covenant will not be attainable to the unjust. So not all people will have that thing that Ibrahim asked Allah to give us. And that is what we need to discuss with our young generation. As we speak, the Muslim Ummah now, above 60% of them are youth, are young. And if we don't give them attention, if we don't be there for them, someone else will be there for them. Whether it is the social media, whether it's in the school, whether in their friends, whether in the media itself, someone is going to shape them if we don't give good care of them. And as you brought in earlier, some people are going to Islam because they have tasted the un-Islamic life, and people who has tasted Islam now and they are not understanding the core of our religion, we are not spending time making them understand it, they are trying to taste other things. So why that question came to Ibrahim? Because he was thinking of that, he was thinking of the message. Are our children, the next generation and the third and fourth generation, will still be saying La ilaha illallah and understanding and practicing Islam, or will just be Muslims by name? Doesn't understand what is the meaning of life. If you started the show, everyone had the same meaning. Everyone had that understanding of life, understanding of the cause he was here for. That's what we need to give attention to our generation, and the second one and the third one. That's not only things that we do for a compliment or to make us feel better, but this is our responsibility. كلكم راع وكلكم مسؤول عن رعيته. You are responsible for everyone, for your family, for your community. You will be asked for that. So we need to start to think of our next and third and fourth generation to come. And we don't need to be just thinking of where they will go to school, where they will marry, the lower hierarchy needs, but we need to fulfill for them and to bring them up in that pyramid, to put them in the elite, to make sure that the word of Islam, the meaning behind life be seated in their head, because they will spread it to people around them.
Of course.
They will live for it, and the lights that have been brought by Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, will be spread toward everything in the world. And when you see before Sayyidina Yaqub, Jacob died, he surrounded himself with his children, and the last thing he was asking them for, he said to them, what is your religion? He's testing them. He's seeing if they are on the same meaning, if they have the same understanding of Islam. The Quran say, أم كنتم شهداء إذ حضر يعقوب الموت إذ قال لبنيه ما تعبدون من بعدي قالوا نعبد إلهك وإله آبائك إبراهيم وإسماعيل وإسحاق إلها واحدا ونحن له مسلمون. Were you there witnessing when Yaqub came and death approached him, when he asked his sons, what will you worship after me? What do you remember the cause why you are on earth? And they replied, we shall worship the God of you and the God of all humanity and the God of your fathers, and we are submitting ourselves to that. That is the thing that we should be aware of, and the thing that we should implant and seed in our children, and to make sure that they don't get lost in the societies that are trying, as we are speaking earlier, there's something called social conformity. When you feel different and isolated, as the Maslow triad saying, you try to get back in the society. So if the whole society around you is doing vices and is doing filth and wrong deeds, you will try to get just to cope with them. So try to stay different and stay Muslim. Islam is fulfilling every need you will see in your life.
Tawfiq, thank you, brother. I want to go back to the Maslow hierarchy in the next segment as well, and related to Islam and Muslims, because of course the meaning of life would vary from the Muslim to the non-Muslim. So we'll speak about that in the next segment, inshallah. And I also want to ask you guys, the meaning of life. How has it changed with time? Number one, as a young man to now perhaps father and parents, number one. And number two, you guys, we all agree what the meaning of life is, right? As you said, brother, to please Allah, right? To worship Him. But how do you guys prevent yourself from getting distracted in the dunya? That's in the next segment, inshallah. We'll discuss that. You guys stay with me. We'll be right back. You guys, we're going to take a short break. Stay tuned to Let's Talk, inshallah.
How perfect my Allah is, and I praise Him. Subhanallah wa bihamdihi, Subhanallah. How perfect you are, Allah, Subhanahu wa ta'ala.
Every time you sit for halqa or dhikr, especially in the masjid, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will provide us with the following. نزلت عليهم السكينة, tranquility. You feel like peace of mind, comfort for your eyes whenever you're sitting in the halqa, in the masjid. غشيتهم الرحمة, Allah covers this gathering with His mercy. وحفتهم الملائكة, that was stated in the previous hadith, and the angels will surround them. وذكرهم الله في من عنده.
Don't miss Dr. Muhammad Salah's all-new weekly program, Gardens of the Pious, live from 9 to 10 p.m. Mecca time every Wednesday night, only on Huda TV.
Allah, Subhanahu wa ta'ala.
Welcome back to Let's Talk. You guys, thank you for staying tuned. We're here discussing the meaning of life and how that changes over time and from person to person, of course. Brother, my first question is, I want to go to the right. I want to ask you guys the same question, inshallah. How do we agree about what the meaning of life is as Muslims, as you quoted the ayah and the proof there? We're here to serve Allah, okay?
No.
So how do you prevent yourself from getting distracted in the dunya? It's very difficult.
It's a good question, and I think personally people have different ways and different methods of, maybe keeping themselves busy. First of all, what I personally think, from my point of view, is obviously having good company. company that always encourage you to do good, and like for instance the example of the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, the hadith of the musk seller, the one that sells atar, perfumes, and the one that is what's the word, the one that makes
selling fire.
No, fire. He makes like an iron.
Blacksmith.
Blacksmith. That's
Blacksmith.
it. So basically, when you're around good friends, it's like being in a perfume shop. For instance, he might give you free atar. He might give you, you might smell nice. Good atmosphere. Or you can go to the blacksmith, the one that works with fire. It's going to be dirty. It's going to burn your clothes. It smells. All of this stuff.
Dusty.
So. Me personally, I feel like number one is important to have good company, good friends that's always encouraging you to do good. And also, try and go to events, talks, listen to lectures, always, because, as we know from being, Ahlul Sunnah wal Jama'ah, our Iman increases and decreases. And, we always have to try and increase it, so we can keep firm, like Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, hold on to the rope of Allah together and jami'an. But also, sometimes you might feel low, your iman might feel low, but no matter how low you feel, just hold on. Just hold on to your deen, hold on, just hold on. And inshallah, within time, it might increase,
Thank you, brother.
So, I can only speak for myself.
Yeah, thank you, brother. I'm
Of,
going to put you on the spot. So you said you want to go, you listen to, the for example, the lecture from the Sheikh in the masjid.
Yeah.
So what masjid do you attend, and what Sheikh is? I'm just joking. I'll give you guys a hard time. So if you like to, I'm just telling the season though.
No, I personally attend my local mosques, which they have. I try my best to study fiqh sunnah, which is understanding the sunnah, which is really important. You might go to hadith classes and learn Arba'in an-Nawawi, but this might be just hadiths, but it doesn't make you understand what is the hadith. Like that famous hadith is man yuridullahu khayrun yufaqihu fi din. Whoever Allah wants good for someone, He makes them understand the religion.
Yeah, great.
So we have to try our best to study the religion as much as we can. Mashallah, the brothers have come, from UK, Nigeria, America, UK, brother, even his own country, Egypt, studying in Azhar, committing to learn the deen properly according to the sunnah, according to the way, the Salaf used to, study or understand the deen and stuff. And, this takes a lot, us brothers could have been doing something else. We could have been other singers, dancers, footballers. We could have been something else. But alhamdulillah, by, fadlillah, by the permission of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, we got the guidance, and, we're here, inshallah. And inshallah, Allah allows us to die on this path, being,
inshallah,
certain that Islam is the haqq, and we die,
As
that
Muslims.
la ilaha illallah, we die on la ilaha illallah, inshallah.
Thank you.
So,
Barakallahu feek. Brother, I'm sorry I didn't get to you. I wanted to ask you about these same questions, and you want to speak a lot about the youth in Nigeria as well. So go ahead, brother.
Okay, as we know, youth are the backbone of any society.
inshallah.
So, I think, but unfortunately, it is a sadly state of affairs that youth around the world, Islamic youth, are living in identity crisis. Yeah, they lack guidance. They are not astray, but just they lack guidance. So, I think we have to put more emphasis on our youth, because if you look into the early stage of Islam, the major contributors are all youth, most of them, like Osama, Zayd, Abdullah ibn As. Most of them are youth, and they contributed a lot to this deen until it came to us now. So if you are corrupted youth, I think Islam or Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam will not be proud of you in the day of judgment. So we shouldn't be deceived by the temporary, by this temporary of this world, the very temporary life of this world. Because in paradise, inshallah, we have everything. Yeah, you will have the life of luxury in paradise. But here, just you are living at the means to an end.
Yeah,
in this life, yeah.
Barakallahu feek, brother.
Yeah, in this world.
Barakallahu feek, brother. We're gonna take if you could give me a second, we're gonna take a look at the report and get back to you, inshallah. Okay? You guys at home, stay tuned to Let's Talk. We're gonna take a look at a wonderful report put together by the good brothers upstairs in the department there. So stay tuned. We'll be right back.
I'm calling your name.
Just like every manufacturer, he left us with an instruction manual. the Quran and Islam, and I'm sorry to jump to conclusions, but it's the only one possible. The only definition of God is the one and only supreme being. It's logical. A book with zero contradictions, with miracles that are both scientific and historical, all revealed over 1400 years ago. Like the detailed description of the human embryo.
The descriptions of the human embryo in the Quran cannot be based on scientific knowledge in the 7th century.
To the mountains as pegs holding firm the earth below, and the two seas that don't mix in a complete separate flow. To the planets in orbit, alternating night and day as they stay in flow. The expansion of the universe and the creation of everything from H2O. To the stories of the past and the preservation of Pharaoh. To identifying the lowest point in the land where Persia defeated Rome. The gushing fluid that created man in the glands between the ribs and the backbone. And not a word has changed, it's still the same. So please explain how all this was known over 1400 years ago. To a man who couldn't read or write as he would recite whatever the angels spoke. And if you still don't believe, please try to come up with something that's even close. But you can't, so we took God as a mockery and his messengers as a joke.
Muhammad could not read or write. How somebody who can't read or write gonna start a religion?
Dismissed his scriptures as legends and tales of the ancient folk as we live life according to our whims, desires, and hopes. Saying this life is the only home we will ever know. We will live then die, then simply turn to bones. YOLO! Correction, after the grass dies, the rain arrives and it regrows. And Allah promises to do the same thing to your very soul and bring you back from your very fingertips to your toes. As the all-seeing supreme being watches us so close, and we are surely being tested in our wealth, our health, and our self, and everything that we've been blessed with. So believe, for we will surely be resurrected and be brought back to our Lord and account for every single deed as he hands us our books and orders us to read. From the bad to the good and everything in between. You yourself are sufficient for your own accountability, so don't be mad at me. You are the one who thought he wouldn't come back to me. I gave you a whole life long to search after me, but you were busy in all that which was temporary, so read. And glad tidings to all those who believed, and if you disbelieve, read. And don't let that day be the first day you find out what your life really means.
Subhanahu wa ta'ala.
Welcome back to Let's Talk, you guys. We're having a great time. I hope you enjoyed this episode, inshallah. The meaning of life, what it means to different people. We're speaking with the young brother from Nigeria, the meaning of life in Nigeria. And as you said, it's different from country to country, from place to place as well. But as Muslims, wherever we are, the meaning of life is?
Definitely. The meaning of life is to live for your religion, is to know your Lord. Yeah, according to Quran and Sunnah. And also we have to keep good company, as my brother said here. Yeah, who can energize you when you go low. Yeah, because who can take you to the halaqat in Quran and listen to the religion, because this religion is very fantastic. Yeah, so try to set a good example to others. Even if you pass away, you will be remembered, and your name will be written in a history book. Yeah, like many youth, yeah, who strive for this religion, and we remember them every day.
Thank you.
Yeah, and we put our blessing to them.
Thank you, Bassin. I appreciate it. I wanted to get your thoughts on the report, brother. I forgot to ask you that last report with the Australian brother there when he was speaking about the meaning of life. How important is it for the youth to do poetry and to do these type of non-musical nasheeds, speaking about Tawheed? And it's important, isn't it, for the youth especially?
I think it's important because it gives them an outlet.
Yeah.
I mean, music is a big problem for youth because
Yes.
they're surrounded by it. No matter where you go,
Yeah.
Right.
you're in the shop.
It's impossible.
It's impossible. You can't avoid it, and it's really seductive to them because
Yeah. And adults.
it's hard to be, of course for adults, so it's hard to be a young Muslim in schools, especially because you're just, surrounded by things that are just haram, but everyone's doing it. It's hard. Peer pressure.
Yeah.
I mean, just things like salah is, that's the last thing on a lot of Muslim students' mind.
Yeah.
So it's important that we have these kind of halal ways of expressing our talent, and also relaxing and having fun as well. It's crucial because it's like just an ocean of jahiliyyah.
Yeah, right. And we have to compete with these music clips, videos. I stopped listening to music, alhamdulillah, 6 years ago, okay? After I accepted Islam, I had a problem. I kept listening a little bit, but alhamdulillah, I stopped. Now, to this day, I still know more rap songs in my head than versus the Quran, unfortunately, because it's like everywhere, and you programmed into your mind without you're not even listening to it, you just hear it, but it's still...
And it's tempting.
Yeah.
But do you know what the problem is as well is we can't beat Iman into children. This is
Exactly.
a big problem in some of the masajid. It's like the kids don't want to go there,
Right.
Because they're getting beat, they're getting whipped, they're getting forced. But at school, everything's
we have
fun. We're having fun.
Yeah, great point. Great point. Thank you, brother. You had some interesting stories you want to share about the Prophet Abraham, peace be upon him,
Right.
as a searching youth. Go ahead.
That point is alarming. We can't beat religion into the young, the youth, and they are the majority of the Muslim ummah. So we need to make the masjid, the mosque, attractive. We should spend money, time, effort in the masjid to bring youth into the masjid, to make them relate their life into the masjid. I call it the leadership school, where Prophet used to teach and lead from the mosque. It is not just to go and pray and leave. It is to be, your life is centered around it. And you can't beat it in. It has to be like Prophet Ibrahim. Allah gave him religion with certainty and assurance. The story of belief and skepticism and the searching for meaning of life is discussed in the Quran. And there is a great lessons to be learned. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. وَإِذْ قَالَ إِبْرَاهِيمُ لِأَبِيهِ آزَرَ أَتَتَّخِذُ أَصْنَامًا آلِهَةً إِنِّي أَرَاكَ وَقَوْمَكَ فِي ضَلَالٍ مُبِينٍ. When Ibrahim said to his father, do you take to yourself idols for God? Surely I see you and your people in a manifest error. What is he seeing here is he is skeptic of his father religion, of the society idols, the things that the society put to them, the things that they say it's right. And this we need to encourage our youth to think and to explore and to be skeptic about what the society is giving them. That's how the religion could be inside them with certainty. Ibrahim alayhi salam was giving us an example of searching for that meaning. And Allah showed him Allah say, وَكَذَلِكَ نُرِي إِبْرَاهِيمَ مَلَكُوتَ السَّمَاوَاتِ وَالْأَرْضِ وَلِيَكُونَ مِنَ الْمُوقِنِينَ. We did show Ibrahim the vastness of the universe, the heavens and the earth, everything, to make his belief, his faith, with certainty and understanding. It has to be certain and it has to be understood. And you cannot have pause without being questioning of everything around you and refusing to just accept without thinking. Ibrahim goes further and try to show the people around him how he will reach for the faith. Allah say, فَلَمَّا جَنَّ عَلَيْهِ اللَّيْلُ رَأَى كَوْكَبًا قَالَ هَذَا رَبِّي فَلَمَّا أَفَلَ قَالَ لَا أُحِبُّ الْآفِلِينَ. When the night turned over, he saw a planet, he saw a star. So he said, that is my God. And he's not worshipping it, but he's showing people around him that could be worshipped. But when the morning came, that disappeared. So people started thinking, he said, I don't like things that disappear. I don't like the imperfect things. So, and that story repeats and repeats and repeats. Why is that? Because you need to understand religion, to have it in certainty, and that will not come without encouraging our children, our youth, to ask and have the questions ready to be answered. If we don't have the answer, we could take them to the masjid and search for someone who knows that answer. We don't shout our children when they ask who created the universe, what is the meaning of life. We don't force them to shut up because someone else will give them an answer that could be more attractive. We need to listen for them and encourage them to speak to us and have that answer, and then reach with them the final approach when Allah say, إني وجهت وجهي للذي فطر السماوات والأرض حنيفا وما أنا من المشركين. The final path, when he said, verily I have turned my face toward Allah, who has created heavens and earth, who have created the monotheism for us, the nature, the Islamic monotheism, the worshipping of God alone. And I am not polytheistic. I am not associating anything with Allah. He's not here saying, because people try to forget that legacy of Ibrahim, forget religion, because say there is no asnam anymore, there is no idols anymore. Idols are everything around us.
But take different shape now.
Exactly, you have to think of the materialistic stuff that contract your soul out. There is a saying now, disconnect to connect, because we are everything around us is getting us away from the spiritual life and giving us, it's all idols around you. Everything that is tempting, everything that is giving you the desire and fulfilling your desire. And we are seeking the now, the present. Allah say, كَلَّا بَلْ تُحِبُّونَ الْعَاجِلَةِ. You love the present. You love to have things quickly. But in Islam, it thinks of the future. It thinks of the afterlife. It gives you the broad space to think and acquire. And they say, there is a broad saying that Allah is known by thinking. That is the story, that is the meaning, is to think and find your own path, is to follow your intuition, and will sure that you will really come to be a Muslim.
Thank you for that wonderful story of the Prophet Abraham as well. It fits nicely. Peace be upon him. And also, really briefly, who says there's no more idols? Everybody's worshiping idols now. It's called Mercedes-Benz or Jordan tennis shoes, right?
Right.
Yeah. Right. So one other point. What about questioning, you guys? Well, we only have about 30 seconds left. But you know, as Muslim youth, if you ever ask a question, then your parents they say, are you doubting Islam now? They don't give the child a room to ask why. This is a problem, I think, right?
Right.
Yeah, right. I mean,
that's a major problem, because if you don't provide them with the answer, they don't stop.
Right.
And someone is giving them an answer.
Yes, subhanAllah. Barakallahu feek. You guys, thank you for your time. I look forward to seeing you guys next episode, inshallah. Live from the UK next time, inshallah. I wish.
From my living room.
Thank you guys, I really appreciate it. You guys at home, I certainly hope you enjoyed and benefited from another episode of Let's Talk. We have to thank Allah for giving us the strength to do another episode. So until next time, we leave you in the care of Allah. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
How perfect my Allah is, and I praise Him. Subhanallah wa bihamdihi. Subhanallah al-azim. How perfect you are, Allah. I need you, Allahu Akbar, Allah, your mercy is great.